Imagine standing on the roof of the world. Massive snow-covered mountains stretch endlessly across the horizon. Cold winds sweep through deep valleys. Rivers cut through the high plateau like veins across stone. More than 2,000 years ago, long before Tibet became a powerful empire, the people living here had no emperor, no unified kingdom, and no written language. They lived in scattered tribes across the harsh Tibetan plateau. And according to Tibetan legend, everything changed when a strange man descended from the sky. This is the story of Nyatri Tsenpo, the legendary first king of Tibet. To understand this story, we first need to understand ancient Tibet itself. Today, many people associate Tibet with Buddhism, monasteries, and the Dalai Lama. But in the distant past, before Buddhism arrived, Tibet was a mysterious land filled with tribal traditions, mountain worship, and ancient spiritual beliefs. The people believed the world was alive with spirits. The mountains were sacred. The rivers carried divine power. And the sky itself was believed to connect humans to the heavens. In this world of myth and survival, the Yarlung Valley became one of the most important regions in Tibet. Located in southern Tibet, the valley was fertile compared to the surrounding plateau. Rivers provided water, and communities slowly began forming around agriculture and trade. Over time, local clans grew stronger. But according to tradition, none of these clans had a true king until one extraordinary day. The legend says a mysterious man appeared from the heavens. Some stories claim he descended on a rope of light from the sky. Others say he emerged from the mountains. When the local people found him, they noticed something unusual immediately. He looked different. Some legends describe him with strange eyes, webbed fingers, or an appearance unlike ordinary humans. Most importantly, he spoke a language nobody could understand. The people tried communicating with him, but failed. Then the mysterious stranger pointed upward toward the heavens. The people interpreted this as a sign that he had come from the gods themselves. Believing him to be divine, they lifted him onto their shoulders and carried him through the valley. And from this moment, he became known as Nyatri Tsenpo, the first king of Tibet. His name itself carries symbolic meaning. Tsenpo means something close to great king or emperor, and Nyatri is often interpreted as the king carried on shoulders. This detail is important because it reflects how early Tibetans viewed kingship. A king was not simply a political ruler, he was seen as sacred, a bridge between heaven and earth. In many ancient civilizations, rulers claimed divine origins. Egyptian pharaohs were considered gods. Chinese emperors ruled through the mandate of heaven. And in Tibet, the earliest kings were believed to descend directly from the sky. Nyatri Tsenpo became the founder of what later became known as the Yarlung Dynasty. According to Tibetan tradition, he ruled from the Yarlung Valley and established the first royal line of Tibet. For generations, his descendants continued ruling small kingdoms across the plateau. At first, these kings controlled only limited territory. Tibet was still divided into tribes and rival clans, but slowly, over centuries, the power of the Yarlung kings expanded. The legend of Nyatri Tsenpo became the foundation of Tibetan royal identity. If the first king came from heaven, then his descendants ruled with heavenly authority. One of the most fascinating parts of this story involves death. According to ancient Tibetan belief, the earliest kings did not truly die like ordinary humans. Instead, legends claim they returned to heaven using a magical cord connecting earth and sky. When their time came, they simply climbed back into the heavens. This belief reinforced, but whether he truly existed or not may not actually be the most important question, because legends tell us something deeper about the people who created them. The story of Nyatri Tsenpo reveals how ancient Tibetans understood power, spirituality, and identity. To them, kingship was sacred. Their rulers were connected to the heavens. And Tibet itself was not just land, it was a divine kingdom protected by spiritual forces. Centuries after Nyatri Tsenpo's legendary reign, Tibet would eventually rise into one of the most powerful empires in Asia. And this is where this early kings is the ancient Umbulagang Palace. According to tradition, this was the very first palace in Tibetan history. Perched high above the Yarlung Valley, it stands almost like something from mythology itself. White walls rise from the hilltop, while clouds drift across the mountains behind it. Some legends say Nyatri Tsenpo himself lived there. Whether historically true or not, the palace remains one of Tibet's most symbolic locations, because it represents the birth of Tibetan civilization. What makes the story of Nyatri Tsenpo so fascinating is the mixture of history and myth. Ancient societies often blended the two together, and centuries. Even today, Nyatri Tsenpo remains an important figure in Tibetan cultural memory. His story is taught in traditional histories. The first king, Nyatri Tsenpo.